All right, folks, it's 3:00 p.m.
Did you want to wait for Dave?
We'll be walking in a few minutes. All right, so it's 3:00 p.m. on Thursday, August 31st, and I will call the rescheduled, though regular monthly meeting of the Library Board of Trustees to order. And if we could all stand and say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And we'll start with a period of public comment. Seeing no public, we'll move on to a roll call of members.
Tara Price-Gritzmacher.
Ashley McGarity.
Kelly.
Joe Pederuti.
Buzz Sharman.
And I'll add a note that Mr. Brickbill should be walking in the door in a matter of moments. Ashley, if you could just make a note of what time he arrives.
CL Quillen.
Thank you. And CL, could we have verification of the posting of the agenda, please?
The agenda was posted on August 24th.
And that moves us to agenda item 6, consideration and possible action, approval of the agenda as submitted or revised. Are there any revisions required for?
I make a motion to approve the agenda as submitted.
Buzz, I'm just gonna.
Oh, you're done. We don't need to make a motion?
No, we do, but it needs to be one of the appointed members of the library board.
Oh, okay.
So I'll accept a motion to approve the agenda as submitted.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. We have a motion from Joe to approve the agenda as submitted. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Tara. We have a motion and a second. All in approval, please indicate with an aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion passes. And moving on to consideration and possible action of the approval of the minutes from the meeting on July 27th, 2023. Minutes are in your packet. Thank you, Ashley, for another round of great minutes.
Thank you.
Are there any questions, concerns, edits? Now would be the time to raise those. And if there are no edits or revisions, I'll accept a motion to approve the minutes as submitted.
Motion to approve the minutes as submitted.
Thank you. We have a motion from Tara. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Please indicate your approval to approve the minutes as submitted with an aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion passes. And we move on to Library Board of Trustees report.
So I went to New York City 2 weeks ago, and I did a thing. I went to the New York City Public Library, which was amazing. Although, truth be told, I only went to the main branch, which there's really not a lot of books there. It's more study areas, research areas, blah, 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 blah. But it was like a museum, you know, and of course I realized when I got back, well, they've got 92 branches of their public library, and they probably have a, bajillion-dollar budget. But it was like walking into a museum, and it was really fascinating. I did a thing, and I brought it with me. I got a New York City Public Library card commemorating the 50th anniversary of hip-hop, by the way. So I guess they just randomly make library cards to commemorate different things, and they give them to people. The people get library cards. And I also bought a New York Public Library bag at their gift shop, which it's run by their friends of the library, and it was fantastic. So that's my thing. Report on New York. It was the library. The main branch of the library was really fascinating. That's what I'll say.
Glad you did some library tourism on your trip, Dave. I noted in the minutes from last meeting that we're keeping track of my book tally, so I'm on book 43 since graduation, doing my best to help keep those circulation numbers up. And in other news, I attended the Books, Bites, and Beverages fundraiser event at the library. I was a big winner, I guess. I won 2 raffles, so 2 tables worth of things, which I then subdivided up and auctioned off to folks for additional contributions to the library. So we raised another like $260, which was very exciting. I didn't need all the things, just like one thing from each table. So that was a really fun event. I had a great time. So my thanks to the Churchill Library Association and CL and everyone who contributed and made that event so much fun. And that's it for me.
I too did the Books, Bites, and Beverage event. We were down there early in the afternoon to get set up and then work through the evening, and it was a good event. I would like to do a post-review, post-event review, just to see what worked, what we could do better, that kind of stuff.
All right. Thank you all for your reports, and we'll move on to agenda item 9, Library Director's Report. CL?
Well, I was also there at Books, Bites, and Beverages. And not having anything to compare it to, I did think it was very successful. I don't have a final total on what was raised and, what was raised versus what was spent and all of those things, but hope to have that soon. It did seem like we had fewer people than what we've had in the past, but it still seemed like we were successful, and it sounds like the numbers are right about what we've made in the past. So we did get a little bit of a late start, I think partly due to my, the switchover between me and Carol. So hopefully next year we will take all of that information and be able to make it into an even bigger success. As far as the statistics go, I kind of expanded those because I thought you might like to see, especially given some of the questions that we've had recently, a little bit more about the statistics that we collect, what's included in them, and just, more of a breakdown about what exactly we're doing in the library. So you'll see that, and I'm hoping to eventually, I gave you the statistics for the Wi-Fi as well. The company that does those is moving into, and they say at no cost, although I have my doubts, they say at no cost they are going to start providing the questions and things in a way to record the statistics that are required for the annual report to the state library that goes to IMLS. And so it will be nice to be able to pull some of those things and see them a bit more graphically, because I know, sometimes, especially with this many numbers on a chart, it can be a little difficult to to really take it in. So I'm hoping to be able to do more of a graphical representation of some of those numbers in the future. There is still a little bit of a issue with pulling the statistics. I spoke to Carrie today because I've been from the co-op because I've been trying to get that figured out, and we're having to roll into the next topic that I've got listed there. With the migration, they went back and tried to add some things in, and it created some functional problems with things that were working, which now are not. So hopefully it is still early days, and I do think that overall folks like the new ILS better. I think it's got a lot more functionality. We can actually, once we get to the point where some of these things have settled, we can actually add programming and other things into that so that if people are interested in a topic and there's a program coming up that's on that topic, they'll be able to see some of those things. So, it takes time. It was a pretty major change. We'd had Polaris for a very long time, and it's taking a little massaging to get it quite where it needs to be. But if you have any questions about any of these statistics, happy to answer them.
Question.
Yes.
So just kind of explain it a little bit. I understand you've got it categorically broken down, juvenile, young adult, all. But is the top number, is that the number of events for the month?
Yes.
Okay.
Those are the number of I should have probably been
programs.
clarified a little bit more. Those are the number of programs that we offered for each different age group, and then under it is the number who were in attendance,
Got it.
or the total number for.
Got it.
Similar to that, CL, can you tell me what ST is, the ST videos?
Storytime videos.
Okay, great.
And on the subject, so juvenile, young adult, all, and then adult. I don't understand. What's the all category?
Things that were open to all ages. So something like the carnival would have been considered an all ages event. One of the programs that we did with Mini Fan this summer was an all ages program. The animals, I believe, were counted as an all ages program. Going back to the storytime videos, we are sunsetting those because permissions and things from the publishers has pretty much gone away for being able to record story times. And what I've seen about fair use would indicate that reading a children's picture book in its entirety is not considered fair use. That was kind of opened up with the pandemic, and they have been retracting those permissions. So we're looking at some other things to do to fill in that space so that we're continuing to offer, and I think we're going to plan is to start offering some book review, new books promotion and talking about what some of our new books are.
So, like when we had Miss Jess doing the story time on YouTube, we're not able to do those anymore, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, we're really, I mean, unless we were to go back to books that are out of the that are in the public domain, and that's going back a good, I believe it's 75 years or 80 years that the books have to be since they were, so the interest level may not be there in those kinds of books. You're welcome.
And if we could just, on the event statistics, the way that I understand that is, you schedule an event, it's intended for like a juvenile audience, and so you count the juveniles who are participating, with the assumption that there are probably other adults, but since that's
Yes.
not something that's targeted to them, they aren't included in the count.
No, they are included in the count.
Okay.
But we don't, if it's a storytime program, for instance, we're counting everybody who attends, children and adults, but we wouldn't then break it down and say, okay, well, there were
Okay.
17 adults, so we're going to put those in a separate.
Okay. Cool. Thank you. Any other questions about the statistics?
I like them. I like the detail.